Aisha,
Hi, Daniel. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I mean, other than the floating pollen germs and cooties and stuff, I'm wonderful. I can't complain. How about you?
Doing well. So far, the wonderful air quality in North Carolina hasn't brought me down yet. I'm sure it will. I do have lots of prescriptions that try to prevent that. So
Dude, I've been fighting it, but it's all good, you know what I'm saying? Because we are here to talk about real estate. But I would like to
yes,
say for all of you that are considering moving to North Carolina, specifically try it. We have a whole lot of boy trees here. And I didn't have allergies until I moved to try it. I didn't have a problem. So just prepare your hearts, okay? We rank
it's a,
nationally for issues.
it's true.
So
It's a real thing. But regardless, welcome to no,
really?
really, really,
No.
no.
Really?
And I think that's the podcast where the real estate gets real.
Real. I am Aisha Richardson, and this is The Beard,
The beard,
The
the
Bond.
bar.
DanielMiller.com.
Actually, my shirt just came in with that too.
Are
Literally,
you
just have a
serious?
shirt. Well, yeah, because Sticker Mule, they were like, "Hey, do you want this $20 shirt for $12 or something like that?" I'm just like,
Oh,
"Yeah."
sticker
So
meal? Oh, you need to text me that.
yeah,
I need to
they
get some edify stuff.
yes,
But
yes,
yeah,
you should. But
yeah,
yeah, so
okay.
now I have a black T-shirt. It's got the same logo that I got going on there. Just super simple, but hey, it's me.
Look me. This
So
you. Well, I'm
all
so
right.
excited to be talking to you today because, bro, that real estate roller coaster. I feel like I want to sing the song "Emotional Roller Coaster," but it's not. Well, it feels emotional sometimes. Yeah,
True. Real estate roller coaster. What are you talking about?
man. You are a real. You start your business. You're like, yes, yes, I'm ready to do all the things, and then you get busy, and so you start closing stuff, and it's like money, 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 money. And because you're making all the money, 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 you forget that you need to go look for more business. And then after you close all your stuff, then you're like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? I don't have no money. I don't have nobody work with right now. And so then you go, and then you build your business back up. Do, 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 and then you get all the people, and then, shoom. And so the real estate roller coaster. What happens
Well,
to like a whole bunch of us? Which
fair,
is not a good
fair.
thing, people. Not a good thing.
It is not. So, what do you suggest people kind of focus on to prevent being on that
Oh,
real estate roller coaster?
sorry, that was Ganny shaking really hard. Our official mascot, unofficial. So I think, there's a couple things that we need to do. And I say we because I am an actively practicing broker, my daggone self, and I have fallen into the trap more times than I care to admit out loud. So everything starts right here. I think we used to have a point
Am I
far.
receding hairline?
Oh, well, don't say that. Hopefully it's not. You keep it up front. Keep it up front. But point far, programming leads to thoughts. Thoughts leads to PTF. Feelings lead to actions. Actions leads to results. And results leads to programming. So it's like a cycle. But everything starts in your mind because you either have to think about it. You got to see it up here before you can see it out there. So mindset is first. Then I think we got to talk about that good old calendar.
Oh yeah,
And then, got to talk about some budgeting.
sure.
Um, I think
We're here to make money.
those are some of the big rocks in a certain brand's in a
Yeah.
certain brand's use of vocabulary. We got to put those big rocks out there. So mindset, that calendar, and then budgeting because if you ain't got no money, I don't know how much you're gonna do. Not how much you can do, but it's gonna limit the things you do, or it's gonna make you do other things as opposed to just paying for stuff. Because sometimes paying for stuff ain't quite the right way to do it. Because lots of things look shiny and new, but they're just money grabs and they're not really helpful.
Well, and don't forget that fourth pillar too, the leads and listings. Like the
Ah,
yeah, which that's still I feel like that's almost like the most eye opening thing whenever I got into real estate, where it's like you know. You think all your focus should be like, oh, I should spend 100% of my time, looking at houses and knowing everything that I can about the market and everything else. If you don't have any clients, then you're not going to stay in business. And if you don't have any leads, you don't have anybody to turn into clients. So, yeah,
what are you doing? Then you're just out here just talking to your dog. Hey, Candace,
exactly.
how you doing?
Yep. So,
And talking to Candy is not making me money. So there's that. So let's
true that.
see. What do you think about when you hear the term mindset?
Mhm.
What do you think about, Daniel? What comes to mind first?
Well, because of the culture that I've been around for the last couple of years
Uh-huh.
with real estate, the first thing that pops into my mind is limiting mindsets.
Oh, uh,
Sorry, or
limiting
limiting
mindset.
beliefs. I'm sorry, limiting beliefs is what pops into my
Oh,
mind whenever I think
AKA
of
that drunk monkey.
mindset. Exactly.
The drunk monkey.
So, um,
So, okay. All right. I think when I hear the phrase, the term mindset, I think of what am I thinking about? And I know, like, I'm sure, so I was gonna tell on somebody. I know someone who, when they got to college, they like reinvented themselves. Like, I am this person. And everybody back home thought of them like, what? That's not like what you mean. Like, you might as well have a new name because that's not who we know you as? And so when I think of mindset, it's who do you who do you think you are and what do you think you deserve?
yeah.
How are you going to act? Because if every day, like right now, I am snuffleupagus right now, okay? And if I woke up this morning, I was just like, oh, snuffleupagus doesn't want to do anything. I'm gonna be Eeyore. Then Aisha would have stayed in the bed. But I was like, hey girl, you are snuffleupagus right now, but guess what? So are 82%. I made that number up, just go with it. 82% of the other people who are in the Cheyenne right now, they dealing with the same stuff you're dealing with. So guess what? It's fine. Y'all would just be sniffling together while you get it done. And so I have to think about where do I want to go before I can even
Mhm.
get there, because otherwise, if you plan to fail, no, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And
Yep.
so you got to have a plan for what you're going to do even when you're snuffleupagus. Okay, so maybe I'm definitely not door knocking anything today while the pollen is flying, but I can definitely do some emails. I can make some calls. I can send text messages. I feel like I went on a whole rabbit hole and I didn't mean to. I'm sorry,
No, that's
ADHD.
good. Yeah, I mean, I like that. That's all tasks that we should be doing, and
Yeah,
keeping that mindset of, just because you can't necessarily do what you're planning on doing, like, okay,
you
what
can do
can you do?
something.
Yeah.
Yep, I
Um,
think that's part of it is, yeah. I think that's the biggest thing is we need to just go on and like think about what are your plans and why did you decide to start this business? And I remember when I first started, Andy Lung would say we used to do this thing called Power Hour. It was not an hour, y'all. It was like 20 minutes. But Power Hour every morning. And he would say, you get to hire yourself or fire yourself every single day. Do you get hired to come? Are you gonna bring yourself back tomorrow? Well, dog, that's kind of harsh, like gut punch. Ooh. And so that took some, you know, that there was a mental shift because a lot of people get into real estate thinking, "Oh, my schedule's my own. I can do what I want to do. I don't have anyone telling me I have to clock in at 7:30 and clock out at 4:30 and then take my lunch from this hour to that hour. I can do what I want." Yeah, but if you don't have the right mindset and you don't treat yourself as you are your own CEO, or You are the CEO and you're your own employee. How are you going to run your business? And a lot of real estate agents also don't think of themselves as CEOs and don't think of their real estate business as a business. They just think more transactionally. But when you make that shift in your mind of, oh, wait, I am a business owner and I need my business to grow, or else I will no longer be a business owner. I will be working for someone else's business. Then it's like, okay, now I have to act differently, which is that a bold law, be do have, in order to have the things I want to have or have what someone else has that I'm looking at as my idol or my goal person. I have to do the things that they're doing. I have to become that person. And so anyway, I just hit you with a couple things.
No,
Just went on down a little
and
rabbit hole.
well, and that works perfect because whenever we talk about the four pillars like this, literally like it takes all four to hold up that stool. And so where you were talking specifically about um, the mindset, you just rolled into one of the other legs, which is the time blocking and the
Ooh.
scheduling in order to make
Mhm.
sure that you know whenever you're on the clock, you're hustling. And the only way to
Yeah.
hustle is to know what direction to be hustling in. But at the same time, you are that business owner and you shouldn't let your business completely and utterly take over your life. So you also time block and schedule for your family and for yourself and things like that, which just feeds right into the mindset aspect as well. So I
Yeah.
think that's beautiful, the transition there.
And, time blocking used to just terrify the crap out of me because I thought, "I have to have every second of every day blocked off with this, and I can only move, like, 15 minutes." Like, no, that is
Nope.
so for someone like me, that is overwhelming, but for some other people, they need that strict structure where it's like, "Okay, I know that from 8 a.m. to 8:15, I'm going to drink my coffee."
Yeah.
I know, but I can't handle that because then it's
No.
like, okay, I know I'm gonna fail at this, and so let me stop. And for any of you that are watching, hey, um, I want you to think about your time block as blocking the most important things. So
Mhm.
my birthday is a holiday. Everyone take off for Earth, Wind, and Fire Day. Okay, September 21. I like Kelly. He's my husband. Imma keep him. He's cute. His birthday is another holiday for me. He be working on his birthday, which I think is bananas, but whatever. But there are certain things that are mad important for me. And so whatever those things are that are important for you, you block that out. If you like Daniel has a baby girl, I have a
I
baby
do.
dog.
Mhm.
And so when baby girl has something going on at school, Daniel will block out, 2 hours of that day for baby
Yep.
girls fill in the blank. Gandy don't do nothing except he goes to daycare and maybe he has a doctor's appointment. But I have to block out Gandy's doctor's appointments or whatever. If, things that are important, you block it out. But one thing as a business owner, we have to make sure that we are blocking out time to look for new business. We need to block out time to follow up on the new business that we looked for and found. So my brother's like,
Oh no.
okay,
Okay, that was on your side. Yeah.
yeah, it was
You
me.
did freeze up for a second. Okay.
We need to block out time to look for new business, to follow up on the business you found, and then the administrative part. Now that's the part that I never want to block off, but I have to do it.
Yep.
Because ugh, it gets muddlesome in all my spreadsheets, and I have like notes on notes on notes and notebooks and calendar things. And, if I don't take care of that and make it more clean, it's just going to be a problem. And so we have to block out time for all of those. And no, I know some people say, like, Dave, how long should your time block be?
So
And
I personally do either 30-minute or 1 hour time blocks. There's a lot of different arguments. I know a lot of people do like 25-minute time blocks so that they can have like
oh,
a 5 minute, um, like kind of like a transitional period and things
okay.
like that.
I
Um,
love it.
but my as much as I do time block, mine is a little less structured. It's
Uh-huh.
more, I have 3 hours time blocked a day,
Okay.
but if I rush and get stuff done, I may be able to get all 3 hours done in 45 minutes.
Yes, that makes
Or
sense.
it is set for the morning, but if I haven't done those tasks, I do them over in the afternoon because let's say there was a class in the morning or I had a client that could only go see some houses whenever I normally do this or what have you. Um, it's more just I have that structured time, but then I can move it around as needed.
Because one of the not both laws, but one of the things that we've learned in the company is you don't erase, you replace. So if I did not get my like, and what Daniel mean, I think what Daniel means is
Yeah.
he has set 3 hour block to do certain tasks, but if his tasks are I need to call 10 people, preview
Mhm.
5 properties, write 10 note cards, and he finishes those 10 things in less than 3 hours, then he doesn't have to take.
Oh no, you muted yourself or something. Oh, that was kind of random. You're muted.
I just got a thing that said turn off your background noise. I don't have anything playing in my background. So that's why it like muted me and I don't have anything going right
Oh,
now.
well,
That's
that was
weird.
weird.
And then I
Something
keep
we'll
getting
have
like
to keep an eye out.
these red blocks that come up and say, "Hey, turn off your background." I don't have anything going in the back. I don't know. Sorry, Charlie. Um, go back. What I
You know
think
what?
Daniel is saying.
Go ahead and kill your screen share. I wonder. I think that was up enough anyway, so I'll
Okay.
pop that up. Okay, cool.
Okay,
Sorry.
cool. I think what Daniel is talking about is if he has set on his time block to call 10 people, preview 5 properties, write 10 thank you cards, note cards, whatever cards, and he finishes them in an hour and 10 minutes. He doesn't need to take another hour and 50 minutes to like find more things to do. He's completed his job for the day, i.e.,
Yep.
he finished up, so now he has extra time built in
Mm-hmm.
versus if he needs to, a new property comes on the market and it's likely not to last long, and he has a buyer who's ready to go and see it, then maybe he needs to move one of those hours to the end of the day because he didn't finish previewing and or he didn't finish writing his cards. So it's not a placing it from your era- um erasing it from your calendar. You move it to a different time so that you still get those things done in the same day. And that's part of accountability that many of us lack.
Yeah.
So that's just some things we have to think about. And when I asked you about your time blocks,
Yeah.
you did give me the 3 hour number, and that's what I was waiting for because many people say, "Oh, you need 3 hours of Legion every day," and that can be very daunting.
It
Um,
is.
and
Yeah.
but I would like for you also to consider maybe you look for leads Monday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
You have appointment days for Tuesday and Friday, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe you just do appointments on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Friday is your catch up day for everything that you didn't get accomplished through the week. So your time block can be whatever you want, however you need to structure your schedule. You just need to make sure that you are structuring your schedule and then listen to it. Do what it says. Follow up.
Well,
Follow the schedule.
to bring that up too. So two quick points that go kind of hand in hand with this. Um, so you do have to be habitual about it, and that's
Mhm.
why like I do have those 3 hours scheduled. And the reason why it's 3 hours for me, I actually have them broken into three different groups. So I
Mm.
have Group A, Group B, Group C, which have different purposes. I don't want to get into the specific groups in my case because I don't want to dull the overall arch of this. Um, but I do have three different groups. And just like you would, if you're going to the gym and things like that, if you miss a day, no problem. See you tomorrow. If you miss a week, then we're going to start having some issues. You're not going to want to get back into the gym and things like that. So I think it's very important, even if you can't always dedicate the 3 hours every single day to dedicate the 3 hours every single day and hit it, the most often as you can. And to your point, every day is not leg day. So, you know, I know a lot of people, when they think lead gen, they're like, oh, get on the phone, get on the phone, get on the phone.
No.
You know, maybe you're going to do some lead generation through social networking one day. Maybe your lead gen for one day is take that 3 hours and go canvas a neighborhood, or put some put your brand new T-shirt on and go wander around Walmart or something in the city where you can kind of like
Or
bump into
at your
people and
daughter's
try to.
ballet class, or at your kid's soccer game, or whatever. Like wherever you are, you can use that as leisure time. And so, yes, you're spot on, Daniel. Legion doesn't have to be one way. There's a thousand ways to look for business. And the places that you are most often is where you should be lead generating, because those are the people who see you, know you, and you don't have to convince them that you're not a turd bucket. Like, surprise, they know you and probably like you a little bit. Just
Exactly.
saying. You brought up something else about that I think is like, oh, gold nuggets. Um the gym analogy.
Yeah.
Running your business like a business is building muscle. You are learning new habits. And so the habitual time blocking, the every Monday at 10 o'clock, I have a call. That is not something that's, or not, maybe not have a call, but every Tuesday from 10 to 12, I have these specific meetings, and these are things that I do. That's not something that's just normal, because you're coming from whatever world you were in before, and now you're training yourself to do something different. So you may fall off the first month or the first 3 months. Every day you're like, oh my God. But then we have to like think back, okay, well, what did I do this week that was successful? Okay, what did I do
Sure.
this quarter that was successful? What do I need to change? Because if I have on my schedule every morning to wake up at 6:30 and go walk my boy, and I know that I only got it one day to walk him at 6:30. Well, maybe 6:30 is not my time, because I've done it once in 3 months. Clearly, that's not going to work for me. So, what have you done well, and where do you need to realign and make it work better for how you operate? And that brings me to, on your schedule, making sure that you set time off, because you can't run your car 24 hours a day, 365. Why do you think you can run your body like that?
Very
Like,
true.
you need a reset. And one of the things that, well, there's a couple things in there. I'm going to go
Mhm.
reset. I'm going to go to oil changes. I'm going to go maintenance. So, with your
Mhm.
maintenance and your breakdowns, if you don't maintain your body, mental, physical health, you are going to burn out in this business. Period, point blank, the end. The number of brokers that get burnt out because they were just trying to go, 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 and they let the tail wag the dog. And oh, someone called, they wanted to see it, so let me pop and go see him and be like, whoa, create a calendar. I set appointments. I show properties you know, from 10 to 12, and then from 6 to 8, or whatever your time is, on Monday through Thursday. And then on Saturdays, I only have one appointment. I only have one time block from 10 to 1. And if you can't fit in that time, then we'll have to see you during the week. Sometimes you have to be just that strict. Sometimes there's some wiggle room in when you're willing to work. But if you don't set some type of boundaries, there will be no boundaries, and you are going to crash and burn.
Definitely.
Now, your maintenance, making sure that every week you're looking back at what worked well this week, what did I need to change, what do I need to change going forward, how can I change the way I think about the tasks, activities that I've done this week, so that I can have a better next week. Plan your week out, and then the oil changes, or the sit down for a little bit. At least once a quarter, you need like 3 days where you are not doing any real estate. Shut it down. I don't care if you are at home. I don't care if you get to go to the beach. I don't care if you're going to the mountains. Whatever you got, go to the bunker in your backyard, man. I don't care. But you need at least 3 days where you can just like relax, relate, release, and you can just who side out and not think about anything, and it's gonna be fine. Because if you don't, eventually you're gonna be snapping at people, biting heads off, forgetting things, not making appointments, halfway doing stuff. It's just gonna be sloppy, and you're gonna be angry. And you don't know why, but it's because you need to sit down for a little bit. Okay, I'm
I,
sorry. Continue.
no, you're good, and it's funny too because you bring that up. Um, that's normally when everything tries to happen for you at the same time. So I'll give you a perfect example. Took the family to the zoo a few months back, and I swear, like the moment we walked into the zoo, it was during the week, not on the weekend. My phone would not stop going off, and literally, like the third time I had to hit ignore, I just went ahead and put on do not disturb. And
Hmm.
the next day I went through, I checked the calls, I got back with people. I didn't lose a single client or
What?
transaction. The world, it's still around. It didn't end.
Are you sure?
I,
No.
it kind
Really?
of crazy, right? It doesn't feel like it in the moment, but I'll be damned. Like it overall, that's
How things
that's
work?
what happens. And you know
Like,
what?
oof,
It if you lost a client because you weren't able to call them in that 1 24 hour period, either you didn't set yourself up for success or they just weren't the right client for you anyway. Like maybe their perception of your values and the way that you should be doing business just isn't for them.
listen. So two things I heard in that one. You teach people how to treat you,
Yep.
and the world doesn't end because you're doing other things. If your phone was going off and you were in a listing appointment, would you have stopped your listing appointment to answer the phone? No. Guess what? When you have appointments with your family, you're in an appointment. I don't suggest that we necessarily tell the world, "Hey, I'm going to take me and Ganny are going to the dog park this afternoon from 4 to 5." Nobody
Mhm.
needs to. I already have an appointment from 4 to 5. It's not your business what I'm doing. If you call the doctor or your dentist, they're not going to say, "Oh, wait, Aisha's coming in at 4:30, so you have to take the." No, your dentist is going to be like, I have 2 and 1. I have 1:30 and 2 o'clock available. Otherwise, I'll see you next Thursday, and we have 10 and 4. Like, which one do you have?" And so I think that we need to start treating yourself as the real estate professional that you are, not just Aisha who's here to answer all the questions, all the phone calls, all the time. Because nope, she ain't doing that. And then the do not disturb, that is my favorite cheat code that I learned.
It
And
is.
the first time I did it, I thought I was going to have a whole behind heart attack because I was like, oh my God. But then after, like, we went to the beach and it was like our week that we have been going to the beach for a week for years and years until my father-in-law passed away, and then we ain't been back like that. Um, but the first time I like turned my phone on do not disturb and I set my vacation reminders and I scheduled out like, hey, Daniel's gonna cover for me and this was gonna cover for me. I was still like, my phone's gonna ring and I have to answer it. Oh my God. And I was like so nervous until like day two. I was like, Kelly, take my phone and like do not give it back to me. When I
Yep.
tell you, by like hour number 4 of me just chilling, I was just like, whoo, the hard part was picking it back up when it was time to come back to life. But it's okay. The world doesn't crash and burn. There are literally no such thing as real estate emergencies. If the house is on fire, they should be calling the fire department. If there's a flood, they should be calling after disaster. But you can't do anything about that.
Yep.
It's okay, y'all. Anyway, I'm sorry. Well, I ain't sorry. This is all
No,
good
I
stuff.
was about to say, and actually, it's funny because you actually used my favorite cheat code, which is when you're doing stuff with your family, you use the words appointment. So literally, like, hey, I can't do that. I have an appointment at 3, and literally, like you said, the appointment is to go to my daughter's school for something or whatever.
Hmm.
It's still an appointment just because
It
it's
is.
not work related. I mean, how often do you have to interrupt family stuff for work? You should definitely be able to. you know, interrupt work for family. It's
Listen,
especially
they
in this
say
type of career.
the purpose of business is to fund the perfect life. And if you are constantly putting down the people that you are working hard for, is that really the perfect life? Because eventually, what's going to happen is your family can resent you or feel like, oh, work is more important to me. And listen, I from that was going to come out very rude. Um, from what I understand, parents have one job, and it's to keep their kids out of the places they don't want their kids to be. And one way to send, especially your little girls, to those seedy locations is to ignore them and make them feel not valued. And so, you gotta take care of home because if not, there is no home to come home to. You know what I'm saying? And I would never forget, like my first year in real estate, it wasn't even a whole year because Kelly told me he was gonna divorce me. I was being a Pop Tart,
Mm-hmm.
and we lived like I could walk to my office from my first apartment. And literally, somebody would call and they were like, "Oh, this house is for sale." This was back before the settlement, so calm down, everybody. You could just go show properties without having stuff in writing. But somebody would say, "Hey, this house is for sale at 123 Main Street. Can you show it to me?" Yes, I gotta go. Yes, I gotta go. Phone ringing at 9 o'clock. Kelly's like, "Who are you talking to?" I don't know. It's a lead. Hi. Da, da, da. And Kelly was like, "Listen, I did not marry you to never see you. You will not do open houses every weekend, excuse me. You will not be talking to people, random people at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and you are not going to get up and go places while we're trying to have dinner. Okay. And he was like, you got to make a decision. Like either it's always going to be that or it's going to be me. He was like, you got to help figure it out. And I was like, well, dog, I like him. Hold up now. And so I had to, we made an agreement that I would only do open houses every other weekend. So I would work 2 weekends a month, and then my calls would stop at 7. And I literally on my voicemail now, hey, calls received after 7 p.m. will be returned, excuse me, the next business day because no. And if you start answering calls at 9, 10, 1 o'clock in the morning,
Some people
people are
do.
going to think, oh, well, I can call Daniel at 2:30 because he was up at 1 a.m. So why wouldn't he be up at 2:30? You teach
Hmm.
people how to treat you guys. So
Yep.
I'm sorry.
No,
Next.
one of these days you're gonna have to change your
You're right.
how you end your sentences because you're not sorry. You shouldn't
No,
be
I'm not.
sorry.
Oh, you're
So,
right. And I keep going. I'm like, I'm trying to stay on task.
mindset.
Mindset. That's right. I'm
Um,
amazing. And you guys need to hear all of those stories and scene.
True that. Well, so I feel like that segues really well into the other tier, though, or
Mhm.
uh, whatever we called it. The other pillar, which is the financial aspect, because okay, we've established that we're doing this for our family, like
Yes.
our lifestyle. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
We're working, which is how you make money to sustain. Like money works is a pretty good kind of trading system for like, okay, I did this thing and I want to do this other thing, so let me just
Uh-huh.
bank it as money for a while and then
Yeah.
transition it over.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like where a lot of people kind of mess up their business is the money aspect. It's the mindset
Uh-huh.
that you just have to make as much money as you possibly can, which I get. Like on paper, that kind of makes sense. It's like how much you want to make this year, more than I've ever made before.
40 gazillion dollars.
But exactly. But I feel like there's a very, and not just me, like this is just kind of a thing. Number one, you kind of figure out where you are and figure out what your expenses are and how much it's costing you each month so that you know what is the absolute bare minimum I need to bring in order to sustain my current lifestyle.
Uh-huh.
Next tier from
Yes.
that is okay, what do I want to add to my lifestyle and how much is that going to cost me? And
Okay.
then bring that in, and then you start getting into the kind of making your life a little bit easier. Okay, I know how much I need to pay myself, and think of it that way too. How much do I need to pay myself each month?
Yeah.
Like you said, this is a roller coaster. You're going to have feast and famine times. So how can you set it up in such a way that you have 6 months? I like to call it my payroll. I want to have
Uh-huh.
6 months of my payroll there. So if I
Yes.
go 2 or 3 months without closing a transaction, which definitely happens,
Listen.
sometimes even longer, sadly, I'm not going, oh God, how am I going to pay for my own mortgage this
Yeah.
month? Um, and at the same time, it also is encouraging because if you drop below that 6 month threshold, well, it's time to put some stuff in gear. Let's get going.
Yeah.
So the money aspect, again, we're working. So the point of working is to make money,
Mhm.
but that money, the point of that is to live the lifestyle that you want. So know what you want lifestyle wise, how much that costs, and don't kill yourself trying to make as much money as possible if you've gotten to the point where you're making the money for your lifestyle.
I think and that all still goes back to your mindset because
Yeah, exactly.
it's funny how they all just work together.
Again, it takes
um,
all the legs to hold that chair up.
man, you're right. Yeah. Um, I think with one of the things I did not do until much later than I should have was I did not have an actual
Yeah,
CPA.
fair.
And I'm still no, Mr. Dixon is amazing. I love that man. Woo, Mr. Dixon, yes, sir. Whatever you need me to do, I'm on it, sir. Um, but I also am not as consistent with looking at my balance sheet every week
Mhm.
as I should. And I don't look at my numbers nearly enough. And I know that I've heard people say, "Oh, well, when I make more money,
Mm-mm.
when I have more money, I'll
Mm-mm.
look at it." No, no, no. You need to be looking at it now when you have little, so that when you have much, if you ever get to much, because if you're not looking at the little and careful with that, you will never get to the much. Um, you got to be looking at it every day so you can see, like, oh, wait, and set a, like, literally set a budget. Okay, if you are paying yourself a personal income, great. If you're not there yet and you're like, well, my income is not as consistent, well, maybe you set it up where you give yourself a percentage of your commissions or your closing, however your income comes. And you're like, okay, well, I know that I'm going to make sure that, 20% of my money goes into the tax bucket because Uncle Sam is greedy.
Mhm.
Um, 20% of my budget of my income goes to the cost of sales bucket. And now I have 60% left. Well, what am I going to do with that? Well, I need 20% of that to go into the save for a rainy day bucket, which means I get to keep 20% of the income so that, now I got to figure out how to live off 20%. And if that 20% is not meeting your needs for the month, is not meeting your expenses, okay, well, now let's go back to our legion and see, where should I be spending more time to get more business in? Did I do all the things I could have done to bring business in? Did I talk to all the people I should have? Did I follow up with everyone that I was supposed to? Um, and again, it's just a cycle, y'all, so that you can keep your income steady, so that you're not doing this and financially, emotionally, you want to try to, keep everything as stable as possible. Um, because this is definitely business is cyclical as a
Mhm.
whole, and then you'll notice that in certain neighborhoods or in certain parts of your area, that business may be cyclical too, where people move into this area, or people like to move. People with children, with school age children, want to move in the summer so they can get where they're going before school starts. But they also start looking in the spring so they can know what's out there. Um, but yet, when people are out in the winter, when it's cold and dark at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and wet, nobody wants to be out except people who have to be out. So you have more serious buyers when the weather's nasty and it's cold. Even though the number is down, they're more
Mhm.
serious than the people who are out in the spring and summer.
A
So it's
hundred
just things
percent.
to think about.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
I love that you brought up I'm not making enough money to think about the money. Um,
Hmm.
that's yes, no.
That's what I thought.
I Yeah, you really that is when you can build the fundamentals that will make sure that you are making the money.
Mhm.
Um, Myself personally, I have not always been fantastic with money. I'm still not fantastic with money, but something that I did with my business whenever I got it started was I figured out how much I needed to make from my business. I paid myself, and if I didn't have enough to pay, I sorry, let me digress. I set up separate accounts. Like I
Uh-huh.
did set up a separate account for my business. If I did not have enough money to pay myself, I kept an IOU. Like
Mm.
I more or less like um, borrowed from my personal funds, and then whenever I did
Mm.
have enough in my business funds, I would just back pay for what I
Oh,
was missing. So it's still
nice. I never even thought of that.
still not hitting on my financial goals. However, one of the first ones I had was that my business didn't owe me any more money because I had reimbursed everything. Check. Right now,
Nice.
right now it's trying to have the 6 months of payroll. So that's and I did thankfully the tax thing.
Uh-huh.
Whenever I did my taxes, I was taking 25% out just to be on the safe side.
Mhm.
Um, when I did all my taxes, I paid a number that I have never seen on paper before to the state and to the country. And my wife was a bit like, I knew it was going to be big, but I didn't realize it was going to be that big. Um, we'll leave that joke alone. Um,
That's what he said.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And I was like, no, you don't understand. That number is a lower number than the money I put out to save for taxes. So we got a $2,000
Refund.
reimbursement. Exactly.
Ah.
That's what it felt like
Mhm.
because, hey, here's the money that I had dog eared for taxes,
Mhm.
which was, again, 2 grand, rounding a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yay. It was the equivalent of getting a refund from taxes instead of paying taxes,
Mhm.
even though, yes, that was some crazy taxes to be paid. So,
So smart. And since you brought it up,
yeah,
one way that I am not a CPA. I'm just telling you what my CPA told me.
same.
If you create an entity, you will have
Mm-hmm.
even more after tax savings than if you stay a sole proprietorship. And you can only create an entity for real estate purposes once you get that P off your B and become full broker. So I would encourage everyone to take your post licensing soon as possible so that you can start saving some money so that you can, buy create an entity, or so my CPA told me. Okay, sorry.
I have heard the same,
Off
and
topic.
it's also that really comes in handy because you can end up like hiring family members, especially like children and stuff like that,
Mm.
where you're able to uh, get a lot of uh, tax write offs and things on the legal side.
Yeah. Yes.
Again, like you said, we're not CPAs, but we have heard some
Still
very
ain't figured out
good
how to make this little
things from
guy.
CPAs.
Ain't figured out how to hire him yet. Like, how can I legally write your expensive tail off? But I
Uh,
digress.
I feel like there could be a conversation with that CPA, and
I
that
tried.
it can't be your
Oh,
mascot. Like you can't use it for marketing purposes.
mm, okay. Maybe I'll have another conversation with him. Okay. Because
So,
I was like, how can I write off the daycare? Can I write off the vet bills? He was like, girl, bye.
so I haven't. I will say one of my tax refunds. My daughter has been trying to help me by taking my business cards to school, which I think is adorable. I think we talked about that once before, but
She
since
is
then,
definitely your number one marketer.
I actually have created her own business cards for her.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm pretty sure that $30 expense can be written off. I'm planning on it at least.
I mean, that is
Um,
marketing. What are you talking?
exactly. A
Yes.
few more years, and I plan on having her on the payroll as well. So, um,
Listen. Yes, get it. I'm so little boy. Get up and go do something. He's like, no, I'm not. So yeah, I think that that's really good. Like Daniel, I hadn't thought about doing the IOU. I do want to ask you a
Mhm.
question. I mean,
Yeah,
not getting
definitely.
into too many specifics. How does you decide how much to pay yourself? What your payroll should be?
So that was a little bit easier for me.
Hmm.
I took a little balance between what I had made with previous jobs, what my expenses were at that time versus
Hmm.
what they were, going into it. Because of course, there's always inflation, and you'll get this paid off, but pick up that. So I really just kind of figured out how much I needed to pay the bills and
Uh-huh.
then put some padding in there so that I wasn't living paycheck to paycheck on the personal side. And
Okay.
that's where that number comes from. Going just slightly further into the weeds. So, my next step from the 6 month, um, 6 months of having the payroll there
Uh-huh.
is once I have that there, then I get to make the decision, okay, so money that I have over 6 months, do I want to do a bonus or do I
Ooh.
need to increase what my payroll is on a regular basis?
Mm.
So it gives
Okay.
me that opportunity too for review and just kind of uh, the mindset, treating this like a business rather than working for somebody
Being
else.
transactional. Yeah. Okay. Man, well, this has been a very I feel like I've picked up some nuggets today. I'm like, oh, okay,
Me too.
I gotta get better at this. But I would like to leave everyone with a couple things. Track all your stuff. If
Yes.
we've said nothing else today, it's get in the mindset, like get your mind right. Okay, sorry, I had to go back to 2000s. But no, it's all start with your mindset. You
Mhm.
are a business owner. You need to treat this as though you are the CEO of this enterprise. Even if you have not created an entity yet, your enterprise is your sole proprietorship. And if you want that enterprise to continue, you need to treat it as such. You need to track everything, all of your numbers. How many, let's start with the budget. How much will keep your lights on at your house? Okay, let's start there. And then we back into how much money do you need? Then how much does it cost to run your business? And if we're looking at, well, I need $2,000 a month to run my household, and I would like to use this lead generation product that's going to cost me another $1,000 a month, but I haven't brought in $2,000 a month. Well, I can't take on that lead generation. I can't buy that package yet. I need to do things that already are at my disposal. I have a phone. I can call people that I know. You have social media because you use it to laugh at people all the time. Oh, that's me. Sorry. You have social media that you're using every day for nonsense. Let's use your social media for business. You have email that you are using right now to do whatever you're using it for. Use that for business. Videos work better than text. People want to see you how you are. So those super polished, um, high quality, you paid for someone to do that. People look at you as salesy. Who are you? Do
Mhm.
you make mistakes? Do you stutter sometimes? Do you laugh at your own mistakes? Do you miss words that, oh wait, I forgot what I was saying? Okay, well let them see the real you because your personality needs to come through because even if we know all the same things, my personality, my behavior is going to draw some people in versus Daniel's, even though I think we're kind of twins. Um,
We are twins, yeah. But thankfully,
personalities
there's enough
matter.
geographical differences,
Yeah.
and
Then my twin over
I
there will
know
be
I'm
okay.
kind of lazy, so like I don't go into your county, like it's too far.
It's so far. It's all of 20 minutes. Oh, if
And
that.
that's all the way into like the center of it's 20
That's what,
minutes.
like,
It's
if
too
that, like, it's like 7 minutes. But yeah, guys, like, let people see who you are and that you are a real person. Um, and then track the number of people that you've met and brought into lead generation is just looking for people who want to do business with you. So that could be, again, with your kids at their events. It could be walking through Walmart. It could be at your dinner. Look, at Dr. School's office, I am the realtor. I am the real estate agent. When I walk in, I'm like, hey, y'all, it's your favorite real estate agent who needs something today. They know. They ready for me. They stay ready. So wherever you are, let people know who you are and what you do. And don't forget to ask for the business.
True that.
And then make sure you're tracking who you talk to, when you talk to them, so that you can have a create a system for following up with those people. Gary Keller or Diana Kokoska, one of them, used what do you call them? A Rolodex or
Oh yeah.
note cards in a box, in a shoebox,
Hmm.
and they just put a new name in, and then it goes to the back of the box. And every time you talk to someone, you take it out, you write down your notes on the card, put it to the back of the box. You could use whatever software you want. You could use Excel, like or Google Sheets. It's free 99, but just use something so that you can track everything. Dollars in, dollars out, people talk to, when you talk to them, where you talk to them. And then eventually you'll see, oh, I've been getting business from my daughter's school because she's been pimping me out every Monday and Tuesday on the playground. And
Hmm.
that will be where you want to spend your focus later, as opposed to buying the new shiny thing that someone called you and said, oh my God, we're doing this and we have high quality leads. They always have high quality leads and they're selling them to everybody at the same time. Um, yeah, and
And that's
then just
another that's another conversation for another
it
day.
is, it is. I'm
There's not
sorry.
a higher quality lead than the ones that are in your sphere. So, but we'll just leave
Mhm.
that.
Yep. And then planning out your schedule. What is important to you for next week, next month, during the next year? You really, as it would be a great idea to go on and plan out your next year of like the big things. Your birthday's not changing. Duh. Your anniversary is not changing. If you have, some people have timeshares. If you know your timeshare week or the week that you take vacation every year, that ain't changing. So go on and put it on the calendar for next year. I already have this date blocked where I can't do anything. And then put in the times where you need to have once a quarter, your 3 days where you are doing no real estate business. But time blocking, scheduling, follow up on tracking your numbers, and then you'll see where you are. Just give yourself, 1 month and look back and see what you've done or haven't done, and then we'll go from there. And I'm gonna stop talking.
No, you're good. I do feel we barely talked about it, but we did talk about it enough. Make sure whenever you are calling people that you do it in a TCPA friendly and compliant way.
Oh
Uh,
yes,
and we're
because
just we're giving advice
thousands
more
of
as we're just
dollars.
kind of recounting what we personally do. There's no guarantees to any of the things that we're saying. It's just our
Actually,
suggestion.
there are, because if you track what you're doing and you stop doing things that don't work, you're gonna know very soon. Oh, okay, well, I don't need to door knock because door knocking is not my thing, and you'll know real soon if it's working or not. So just
Fair.
because I like to talk to my friends and family,
Hmm.
and Daniel likes to get all the people at the school, that might
Hmm.
not be for you.
True.
So, no. Listen, the beard, the bod, the DanielMiller.com.
Ay, 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 Isha.
That's me. This has been no, really.
Really?
Thank you,
The
Daniel.
Thank you, Aisha.
What
Have a
is this though?
wonderful day.
Thanks, but this is
But
the podcast where what?
the real estate gets
Real?
real.
Oh. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.